years ago, I went to visit my parents up in Kentucky. I usually take the airplane, but tickets were getting expensive, and I felt I was old enough to drive up there by myself. I then packed my bags and headed out east. I got past Louisiana very smoothly, and by the time I drove past the Mississippi River, I felt confident I could get there in time. The drive was long, sometimes taking hours to get to the nearest city, but I felt safe and kept on going. At one point, I turned through an intersection, which led me to old neighborhoods deep in the country. As I drove past one neighborhood, I came across an old dirt path that led to a deep forest. I wanted to keep driving on, but something was calling me to go there. I decided to listen to this call and drove straight down. A few minutes in, things started feeling off. The longer I drove, the deeper and darker the forest got. Even though it was only afternoon, it felt like it was midnight. Started getting more and more complex, each turn leading to zigzags and curves that, if you were driving too fast, would instantly hit the trees. Thinking I'd be safer, I slowly drove to the point of barely touching the pedal. I turned on the radio to clear my mind as I slowly went down the forest, began hearing these strange sounds, which began to get louder and louder and louder. Worried I was losing my mind, I turned off the radio, but they still got louder and louder and this sort of dread. I started visioning myself never getting out of here. I'd never see my parents again. I'd never see my friends again. My home, my job, all distant memories that would drive me into insanity as I forever drove on and on. Was this a punishment? I said to myself. Was I sent here for a reason? Is God mad at me? The noises started turning into shrieks, and I started to pray out. saw something looking ahead of me, staring back at me like a hunter looking at its prey. I turned around and hit the pedal, ignoring how dangerous it was, and drove out of the forest and back to the neighborhood. To this day, I do not know what it was or what intentions it had, but it made me feel hopeless.